In terms of coming to rest, it helps if we have a viewpoint that's really attuned with reality, a viewpoint that is skillful with respect to what's going on here. I had another topic for tonight, but for whatever reason, I feel really just drawn into something that came up just spontaneously at the end of that meditation where I invited you to a moment of gratitude. Moment of gratitude and attuned view, attuned viewpoint, right view, it's tend to be called, and usually translated in the Buddhist teaching of the Noble Eightfold Path, right view. To see rightly in just such an immediate way. And I often reflect on this. I find it just a very powerful reflection that whatever I am, and that's quite a mystery itself, that word I, what does it really point to? Whatever I am, from what I see from here, I didn't create this experience. It's just happening. I was born into this world, and here it is, seeing clearly that whatever I am, whatever says I inside this mind, didn't create this experience that's happening. We're born into this world and we will die. And here it is. Goodness. How did that happen? And every moment is not a moment of aloneness, but a moment of exchange between a being and its environment. We live in relationship to the very earth that birthed us. We could include the whole universe in this, the stars and everything, because that's what we're made of. But let's stick closer to the earth for now. We breathe every breath, the atmosphere of this environment we live in, this earth. We walk on this earth, and our bones, our body weight, everything is geared to the gravity of this specific planet. It's so comfy here, relatively speaking, when you think about places like Mars and Jupiter and Neptune, you know? And so I spoke a little bit about gratitude. I'm not exactly sure if that's the right word, but it does. It does the trick to be grateful. Sometimes I think it's just to be awestruck, to not take this for granted, what's right in front of us, to wake up about it. And waking up about it isn't necessarily full of bells and whistles, but it's just that moment where the mind becomes the stillness that it is and just lets it be touched by the sheer being of things. We can't really do this when we're rushing around. These moments of like actually seeing things as they are. Because when we're rushing around, everything becomes sort of turned into something utilitarian, you know, something that needs to get done, to get to this, to that, to accomplish our work, accomplish our job, make dinner, we're gonna move through the day. And then there's kind of entertaining ourselves, making ourselves comfortable, checking in with people, whatever. It's easy to miss this such bedrock experience, which is why we are encouraged in our practice of meditation to stop. Stop. Not just slow down, stop completely. Stop completely. This movement towards an imaginary future, something we have to get. Because we are conditioned beings, obviously we do need to get things, we need to accomplish things, we need to feed ourselves. It doesn't all just happen by magic. Though goodness, we've made it complicated, much more complicated than it seems like it has to be. But so here we are, and something powerful happens when you just really stop. It's really come to a stop. It's only now, here and now, that awakening happens. It doesn't happen in the future. It doesn't happen when you're going to get to something. It happens now. And somehow mixed in with this, see if I can make the transition, the classic formulation of right view actually doesn't exactly dwell so much on what I'm talking about. It dwells instead on suffering and not suffering, beginning to see experience in just such stark terms of this is suffering, this is not suffering. That too takes its shift in focus, really a profound shift in focus. And so this waking up to here and now, waking up to this very moment is crucial to also seeing suffering and the ending of suffering. See if I can put words around it. It's as though when you really wake up to the moment and stop resisting, there's so much resistance in the way we run around. Just wake up in this moment and stop resisting. We can touch something, which is the end of suffering. The Theravada suttas refer to it as the deathless. That word can just sort of mystify people. What do they mean, the deathless? Well, it's actually right here. It's actually what all this world of form is passing through. Let me let that sit for a moment. It's what all this world of form is passing through. It's what it's made of and what it goes back to. And it's this very awake presence which knows it. All of that. So coming to rest. So, what might start innocently out as a class about relaxing goes very deep. Goes very deep. Sometimes relaxation, we use that as kind of like, again, that utilitarian thing. I need to relax. I need to relax so I'll feel better. I need to relax so I can come unstressed, so I can be healthier, so I can bubble, so forth. And it's not that there's anything wrong with any of that. Actually, you do need to rest. You do need to relax. It's a good thing. good thing to learn how to do. But coming to rest in this world of change, having the heart actually rest and be at peace in this world of change, this world of uncertainty. That's what we're about. I don't know everything about it, but I do know that this sense of awe is really a doorway to walk through. The sense of not taking it for granted, this awake experience that we're having, actually hanging out in it, savoring it, taking it in. It shifts something. And it's been really a lifelong preoccupation. Is that the right word? Once it was offered to me in the Dharma, once it was actually presented, it was sort of like, oh yeah, what else is there to do? Really, what else is there to do but to wake up? And I think initially I thought waking up was to become something other than what I was. Try to get to something, become somebody. It took me a long time to kind of come on board with the fact no, actually doesn't mean that. It means letting all that subside. It means letting all that subside. So I wasn't quite going to go here tonight. I think there's a circumstance. I wasn't really conscious till I thought about it now, but wouldn't you know, my wife's cousin is going to die in the next 24 hours. And that was a surprise. I didn't know this was going to happen. She hasn't been doing well. She has Parkinson's, but she fell and concussed and had a brain bleed. And so she's not likely to live much longer. So that does kind of put a certain spin on things, doesn't it? Death is such a teacher, such a light, throws such light on life and on the mystery of it. These comings and goings that are so much a part of life. Beings being born, beings dying. And in between, there's a lot of joy, there's a lot of suffering, a lot of understanding, a lot of ignorance. It's quite a show. It's quite a thing. So I find it helpful sometimes to pause and just contemplate it, not to explain it so much, but to let my heart grow big enough to take it in. Just grow big enough to take it in. And what I'm describing, I think everybody has this in their life. Boy, if death hasn't touched your life yet, you're quite an unusual human being. It's kind of hard to not have it touch your life if you have parents that you know of, or Anyway, so here we are. Here we are, coming to rest, coming to peace with change, with the appearances and disappearances of things. And it's not just these dramatic moments of birth and death. I mean, every moment. What happened to the moment when you signed into this class? It's over. It's gone. What happened to the moment where I just said that? It's gone already too. You could plot life as gone, 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 or arriving, arriving, arriving. You know, it's it's the essence of things. It's the essence of experience. And really, there's nothing that can quite bring you to rest like this sort of reflection. I remember, I remember the births of my children, being present for it. There's a different kind of time, as if time didn't pass, and it also like was very long in another way. It just was another time zone completely. It's very hard to describe, but there was such a sense of presence in the miraculous and anticipation and a little bit of fear in one case, my first child, and all sorts of things going on. But I felt like it was a day of being awake, really awake. So coming to rest is a profound thing when it happens. You don't always enjoy what happens either. You know, because we talk about practice all the time in this class, and Buddhists are always talking about practice, you get the sense like you're supposed to become a master at engineering these states. That doesn't quite work that way. Sometimes you're just thrust into one. It's a profound sense of now, profound sense of being here. It helps all those moments of practice. It helps all that kind of those seeds that you plant. Not saying they don't help, but you just kind of never know when they're going to flower. You never know when you're going to feel the fruit of something. The question came up last week, like, what do you do when you're doing nothing? I'd suggested you do nothing as a practice this week. What do you do? What do you do? You know, you just kind of fall open this way and see things as they are. See the moment. See it rightly. This is not to be taken for granted. To have an uncluttered moment of awareness. Just this. Just this. Just that phone, wherever it is. All right.